One will stand tall, one will fall. It's a battle 15 feet above the ring as Cowboy James Storm fights for survival against the War Machine Rhino in Elevation X.
And we are back inside the scope in Norfolk, Virginia at Destination X. And as you see, they are lowering the steel structure into place. Over 2 tons being dropped down. The danger factor unequaled, yes, a potentially career-ending situation tonight.
Mike, there's never been a match that you're more apprehensive, and I'm not talking about just you and I, I'm talking about everybody. Member. Every person right here in the scope has a fear that they could be watching something bad happen here in a moment.
It's time for the most dangerous match in professional wrestling. It's time for Elevation X.
Sorry about your damn luck.
The man who is knocked from the structure and falls to the mat will lose the match. Introducing first, accompanied by Jacqueline from Leepersport, Tennessee, Cowboy James Storm.
Have you ever seen James Storm like we just witnessed James Storm?
No.
How long have we known James? 6 years?
Since the beginning of TNA.
Nearly 6 years.
No,
never seen that side of him.
Never that serious, never that concerned. And yes, he's afraid. You've got to be afraid. If you are not afraid, then the moment you disrespect that structure is the moment it's going to be your downfall.
And you heard what Storm said. He's straight as an arrow. Tonight, not a night for drinking. You've got to go in with a clear head here. There's just way too much at stake. The Tennessee Cowboy and Jacqueline, they're ready to do battle with the War Machine Rhino. Everybody's apprehensive.
Oh, it is.
Fans, announcers, certainly the 2 competitors in this matchup.
Well, you see James Storm going up, and he's
sort of surveying the situation.
Taking the rope up with him with the hook, and I saw Jacqueline with the 6-pack. Obviously, it's celebratory beers that he's planning on having. This gives you an example. Look how hard it is to get up there.
Difficulty in trying to climb this immense, ominous structure known as Elevation X, and I think he's finally up there.
I mean, it's amazing when people look at this structure. It is impressive, but yet the first thing you think of is, oh my God, this is crazy. And Jacqueline with a concerned look, looking up as he sits down.
Remember what you told me earlier today? The one match you really don't want to announce.
No, I can't stand it. I absolutely just want to close your eyes and the match to be done, and everybody walk away. And it's just hard because well, look at it. I mean, look at that.
And
look at that camera view.
And there you see that yes, James Storm had that 6-pack sent up to him by Jacqueline.
Well, he's setting it up there. He plans on sitting up on top of that and celebrating. I don't even think it's safe. Look at him. You can see the fear crawling into the middle. You're so unsteady.
I agree with you. I'm guessing that he's putting that beer in place with the thought in his mind that after he beats Rhino, that's going to be his celebration drink.
And his opponent from Detroit, Michigan, the War Machine, Rhino!
He called for it, Mike.
He did. This was the challenge that was issued by Rhino, and the War Machine's been there before. You saw that video in the package leading up to the match. The match with AJ Styles that Rhino had before Elevation X. In between entrances, as James Storm was already up on top of the structure, and as Rhino started to make his way down the ramp, my broadcast partner turned to me, and Don West just mouthed the words, "I hate this match."
Well, we've learned
it's because
something.
of the danger that's involved, and I understand
look
exactly.
Look at it swaying. Rhino almost fell. Look at it sway.
I know where you're coming from.
And the reason being is the ceiling is so high here in the scope that they have to have extra tapes so it doesn't give it its firmness.
Like a guide wire up there.
And it just moves I'm telling you, this is ridiculous, people. And they're both, wait a minute, you can see Rhino's already made it up. And look at Storm. He's climbing down.
Yeah, the second that the War Machine Rhino makes his way to the top of the steel structure,
and look at
maybe
him
some
move.
second thoughts for the Cowboy as James Storm comes down.
Now Rhino's in the middle, and he realizes that James Storm, look at him, Storm, I just saw him mouth something I can't repeat, but it basically says, blank, I'm not doing this. And he's just walking away, and now see Rhino in the middle.
That's what I felt. I felt that he was having second thoughts about this.
He says he can't. He just walked in front of the table, and now look at him. He's walking away, and Rhino's got the six-pack. Look at that. Rhino's throwing the beers at him.
Rhino firing those cans of beer down at James Storm from 2 stories up.
I tell you what, I like that. He's sending a message, and you know what? Nothing will tick James Storm off than knowing he's getting some beers ruined, I can tell you that. Look at him. Throws another one. Oh, Rhino's sending the message. You think you're going to come up here and celebrate? Winning, beating me? Not at my expense. Look at him saying, come up here. Rhino may have to come down for a minute. You can see, I don't think Storm's going to come up there and meet him. So I think Rhino had the high ground.
I think Rhino has decided that he's going to come down from the structure and take matters into his own hands here. And I mean, I can't blame Rhino either. You get to that point, Don, where that adrenaline is rushing. When you overcome your fears, when you get all the way up to the top of the structure, and then as soon as you do, Storm comes right back down.
And then you're up there by yourself, but instead of concentrating on what you're doing with Storm on top of the structure, you start feeling it sway. You start feeling it move as Rhino, the War Machine, going right after him. As you can see, Storm's not going to do it. Well, guess what? Rhino's going to make you pay anyway.
Going to take it right to the Cowboy, and that's what Rhino does. There goes Storm directly into that steel guardrail. And yeah, the War Machine, he's all over him like a full court press here. There he goes back first into the safety rail. Man,
I'll tell you what he's going to do. He's going to just try to cause all the damage he can down low. And then somehow get him up top, and then there'll be nothing that the other one can do. That's the strategy. But right away, look at this. Pulling a table out from the beginning and throwing it into the ring.
And now going back underneath the ring. For yet another table, Storm tries to come up from behind. Rhino turns it around on him and drives him into the steel steps.
Man alive. As if this match could get any more dangerous. Start throwing tables involved, and it's just downright unreal. And he just pulled a garbage can out of there. Why not?
And now turns back to Storm and tosses him inside the six-sided ring. And
look at the confidence in Rhino, Mike.
Well, you can just feel it, can't you?
Yeah, I mean, to be confident in a match like this, it's got to be an advantage, because it's got to be something that you're thinking about constantly up until this point. And he's really, I remember last year when he did it with AJ Styles.
Right.
And I mean, it was so unbelievable. You could sense that fear. Now he was able to conquer it and get the victory, but he's so much better this time around.
You know, I was anticipating that his level of confidence would rise, Don, because of that previous experience here. But I think it's almost a case where Storm just got under his skin so much that now you're seeing Rhino. He takes matters into his own hands, but Storm turns it around, tries to shoot him off into the table. Rhino moves out of the way, and Storm gets elevated up to the apron, and then Storm just drilled him in the head with that kick.
Nice kick by James Storm. I mean, James Storm's one of those where, yeah, he was scared, yeah, he was walking away, but once he got into the heat of the battle, he's always thinking, he's always looking for that window to open where he can take the shot and cause the damage. And now he realizes, okay, if there's going to be tables in the ring, then I'll use them. As he's setting it up and turning it over. Now the crowd in here does not know how to react. I mean, they really don't. I mean, it's one of those things where you sit there and you look at and you
realize the danger involved. You realize the potential that we're seeing one of these men in their last match, Don.
Yes.
That's what you have to think about. That's what's in the back of your head at all times.
Well, you land wrong on the ankle. You land wrong on the back. You land wrong on anything, and you're
never the same.
No, you're never the same anyway after a match like this.
You're right.
But now he's got Rhino already knocked onto the table, but Rhino realizes it, gets up and comes right after him.
taking the fight to Storm, and you're right, that's exactly what he's going to do.
Oh, no.
Is he going to try and suplex him through the table?
He's going to try.
Storm hanging on for dear life, and then catches him with a couple of shots in the rib cage that's able to stop Rhino and drop him down.
Now, eventually, they're going to have to climb the steel structure again. Oh, nice belly-to-belly by Rhino.
Suplex there by the War Machine weakens James Storm. And you can tell that he's got him in his sights. He would like nothing better than to gore James Storm right through that table. You can see that he's got him right there, and Jacqueline from outside.
Well, she's got to protect James Storm. She knows there's enough damage already at stake climbing that structure. And she turns him around, grabs him by the hair, and slaps him, and oh, Rhino just missed. And now look at her. She's climbing up the structure. Is Rhino going to go after her?
The Rhino momentarily in pursuit, but then he's got to remain focused on the task at hand.
Yes, he does.
This is what Storm would want. This is what Jacqueline would want. Get you off your game plan and be concentrating more on Jacqueline than you are on James Storm.
Well, you know what? She's climbing up to the top, and look at Rhino. He's climbing after. Holy cow, she's got nowhere to go now. She's only got one way to go, and that's up all the way to finish it. And oh man, it's just the fear you have. And with those heels she's got on, come on.
Oh, great.
Jacqueline, what on earth?
What could she possibly be thinking as she makes her way towards the middle of the X and that big steel structure way, way up above the ring?
Now she's getting to the other side, and you know what? Look at this strategy.
I see what they're doing.
She's forcing Rhino to come after her.
I see this.
And James Storm is climbing up behind and staying out of Rhino's sight line.
Playing both sides against the middle here, and now Jacqueline's going to come to the far side and try and climb down. Meanwhile, Storm is up behind Rhino.
Oh man, look at what Jacqueline did.
Oh,
she was able to get him down. You know what? Storm's up there. They're both up there. Jacqueline, you know what? If it wasn't for her move, there's no telling how long this would have stayed down in the ring. Man, I'll tell you what, yeah, you got to give her credit. She climbed that thing like nobody I've ever seen.
That's a sacrifice for your man.
Yes,
is what
it
she
is.
just did.
I'll tell you that is. And you know what else that does? It shows her, look, I'm not afraid. If I'm not afraid, you don't be afraid. You go up there and look at Storm. He is on his hands and knees. Rhino walking over there methodically. Oh man, it is hard. I don't know if I watch the monitor or I watch up in the structure, Mike.
I'm with you.
Look at he's put his hand out. You don't trust anybody up. Look at that look on that face.
I know it.
Storm.
Rhino stands, yes.
He's saying, come to me.
Right in the middle of the structure.
Come to me.
Daring Storm to make his way about towards the middle.
You know, a lot of times that sweat that's pouring down. Look at, you can see the fear. The sweat pouring down these faces would be as Rhino almost fell. You know, it's from the exertion. It's from nerves right now.
Of course.
It is from nerves. Look at that look. That says it all. That says it all, and I feel for you, buddy. I know exactly how you feel. And it's just, look at though. I like the base that Rhino has. I like the base.
I do too. Look at the way he's got his legs wrapped around the steel.
And he sets the beers to the side and then slams the head on it. And now Storm, and folks, believe me. Oh man, Storm.
Look out. Uh-oh. Got one leg dangling off the side.
This is close to being over right now.
You drop down, you make contact with the mat, you're done, you're the loser. That's the rules here with this Elevation X match, and now both men meet in the middle. Rhino, after the series of shots, is going to get up to his feet.
No way.
Storm as well, and they meet right there, and here we go.
Oh, you can see, it's so close.
Oh, God.
I thought Rhino was gone. I thought Storm was gone. Look at Rhino, you can see he's holding on for dear life. Oh, he's hanging over. Oh my gosh, it's a long way down.
You got to keep in mind that's a 275-pound man up there, Don.
I've also found out that it's about 2 to 3 feet higher than it was in the normal impact zone because of the change situation. Because of this high ceiling, and that view right there tells it all.
Oh, it sure does. And now you can see that neither individual has their body across the structure. As Rhino with shots and catching Storm on the side of the head.
And you can see one shot after another in the crowd. They're both out trying to get a better base.
I mean, that's the entire key to this match.
Oh, it is.
To at least either get the balance, or at least in your own mind, feel like you are somewhat secure. And I know that's impossible when you're that high up there.
Oh man, it is absolutely the emotions you feel looking up. I mean, literally, that camera shot tells it all. Look how high up they are. There's no net. And you can see right now, Storm is trying to hide, I think.
Is that what he's trying to do?
Maybe a page out of what AJ Styles did.
Right.
It's a good place to rest and get a base below you. And get your straight back, as Rhino's got sweat rolling in his eyes. I can see that. And he's trying to get the sweat out of his eyes. And I don't think he realizes where Storm is.
And think about also, Don, the sweat that you have on your hands.
Oh, that's right.
When you're trying to make contact, when you're trying to grip onto the structure, and you've got the sweat on the palms of your hands, it makes it so difficult.
And there's nowhere to grip. I mean, what do you grip?
You see that Storm was motioning to the crowd not to make noise, not to let the War Machine Rhino know where he was positioned in the structure.
Well, Rhino's been here before. He's got I know it's one time with the experience, but you can see Storm now hoping that he could somehow find a way to grab the leg or the foot of Rhino and send him tumbling down. Rhino trying to get the crowd to help him out.
And I think the crowd, you can see some of the fans around ringside are motioning. They're pointing to where Storm is hiding, and Rhino's using them. He's using the fans as his eyes at this point.
And you can see he realized it. There he is. And he knows it, but Storm doesn't realize that Rhino knows where he is, and he just tapped him. Holy cow. He's letting him know, I got you.
Cat and mouse game here by Storm. Storm.
What just fell?
I think it might have been one of those beer cans.
I think you're right. It was the beer can that he had in his hand.
There were two of them left. I think he still got the one in his hand.
Oh, the one that was on top of the thing.
And look at what Rhino just did.
Oh my gosh,
he opened up the structure. He pulled it apart.
Oh man, unbelievable. Where's Storm gonna go? There's no structure but Rhino. You can't walk. Oh, he just spit beer in his face. Storm, hopefully they're trying to get out of this.
Yeah, trying to blind Rhino by spitting the beer in his eyes. And you can see how it's affected Rhino. And the structure's opened up at that point as Storm comes up to meet him.
Unbelievable how he just ripped.
Oh God.
Oh man, he just caught a bad place in that bar. Oh my gosh, he's just hanging there in limbo.
Yeah, he was probably fortunate that he did get crotched on that bar. He would have gone all the way down.
That's in a sick way, that's correct. Oh man, you look at both of them now. They're in the middle of nothing. You can see he's got the high ground, and James Storm is stuck. Where can he go? Where can he go?
And Rhino laying in those rights. And now, James Storm from up top
trying to get his legs connected. He's got his legs. Oh!
Rhino kicking him right in the gut.
He's pushing on him with the foot to the gut. Oh, again. Another shot, and there he goes. Right through the table, my God.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's your winner, the War Machine, Rhino!
Oh my God, he just kicked him finally. There was nowhere. Storm could not grab onto anything to move. And then the table below him, he went crashing right through.
And you can see that Storm is unconscious, laid out. Jacqueline is insisting on some help here. We need to get some of the EMTs. We need to get some help from the back here for James Storm.
Oh my God, and Jacqueline, they're hugging James Storm, trying to check to see if he's okay. Anytime you make a fall of that nature, there is no way you're okay.
The War Machine Rhino, victorious as you see. The stretcher, the EMTs coming down to ringside, bringing the stretcher out for James Storm.
I'll tell you, it is just, look at there, you can see it. Oh, it is such a drop. Here's another shot of the fall.
Oh man, and he crashed right down through the table.
It looked like his hip bones landed first,
lower back, didn't it?
And then of course his neck snapped once he hit. You can see him making no chances there and putting the brace around the neck.
Yeah, Rhino celebrating, his hand held high in victory. Rhino victorious. Here in the most dangerous match in professional wrestling, Rhino wins Elevation X.
Well, great Let's see a couple other angles of that if it's
Sure.
possible. There's a shot after he
Yeah,
fell.
that's after the
and
fact.
you can see him squirming there, and he's right now, I don't know. There's a better shot right here.
Watch this.
Look at, oh,
you see
his
that?
neck
It's almost
snapped.
like his tailbone also on the table, and you're right, the way that his neck snapped when he dropped down.
The head ended up crashing first because the table blocked him when his hips hit, and then the head ended up being the first thing that hit the mat, Mike.
Human body just not made
No.
to take a drop, a landing like that. Up next here at Destination X, it's our main event.
Wow.